Hello friends, in today's class we are going to discuss refraction through a prism, and here I have a prism to show you. A prism is a transparent material which has total 5 surfaces, 3 rectangular surfaces and 2 triangular surfaces. You can see there are 3 rectangular surfaces, 1, 2 and 3, and 2 triangular surfaces. Rectangular surfaces are called as refracting surfaces, and the angle between these two refracting surface means this angle is called as angle of prism. It is denoted by A. So in this figure, A is the angle of prism, and a line joining these two refracting surface is called as refracting edge, and a section of prism which is perpendicular to this refracting edge is called as principal section. So this is the principal section. In this figure, A, B, C is principal section. So I have drawn only a 2-dimensional image of this prism, whereas the prism is a 3-dimensional object. Okay, so let's now discuss the refraction through a prism and also the angle of deviation. In this figure, PQ is incident ray, QR is refracted ray, and RS is emergent ray. Because the ray emerges out of this prism, therefore this is called as emergent ray. And I and R1 are the angle of incidence and angle of refraction for this refracting face AB, and R2 and E are the angle of incidence and angle of emergence for this refracting face AC. Right. Now tell me what would have happened if this prism wouldn't be there. Means in the absence of this prism, the incident ray PQ would have travelled along a straight line which is PQM, because we know that light travels in a straight line. But due to the prism, it refracts at these two faces AB and AC, and therefore the light ray is deviated from its original path, and the amount of deviation is given by the angle between incident ray and emergent ray. This angle is called as angle of deviation. Angle of deviation gives the amount of deviation through which light is deviated, and it is denoted by delta. Delta is the angle of deviation. It is the angle between incident ray and emergent ray. Now, is there any relation between the angle of deviation and angle of incidence? Angle of deviation changes as the angle of incidence changes. Now, to understand the variation of delta with I, we will plot a graph between angle of incidence and angle of deviation. Variation of angle of deviation with angle of incidence can be studied with the help of graph. And if we plot a graph between angle of incidence and angle of deviation, then nature of the graph is parabola. So from this graph, we can say that initially as the angle of incidence increases, the angle of deviation decreases. Okay, it is decreasing along this direction, and angle of incidence increases along this direction. So initially you can see if the angle of incidence increases, angle of deviation decreases up to a particular value, and if we further increase the angle of incidence, then the angle of deviation increases. Initially it is decreases with the increasing angle of incidence to a particular value, and beyond this value, if we further increase the angle of incidence, the angle of deviation increases. Initially it is decreases, but after this value it increases. This indicates that for a given value of angle of deviation, there are 2 values of angle of incidence. Okay, let's say for this angle of deviation 50. Okay, so for a given value of angle of deviation, there are 2 values of angle of incidence. Let's say this is I1 and I2. If you take any value of angle of deviation, then you get 2 values of angle of incidence. Out of these 2 values, one will be angle of incidence and the other will be angle of emergence. Okay, if I1 is the angle of incidence, then I2 will be angle of emergence, or if I2 is angle of incidence, then I1 will be angle of emergence. But for a particular value of angle of deviation, which is the minimum value, for this value there is only one angle of incidence. There is only one value of angle of incidence, and this value of angle of deviation is called as angle of minimum deviation. And at this value, angle of incidence is equals to angle of emergence. So for a given value of delta, there are two values of angle of incidence. One would be angle of incidence and the other would be angle of emergence. It means that the value of angle of incidence and angle of emergence can be interchanged. Practically, this is due to the fact that the path of light can be traced back. It means if this is the incident ray, then in this case this is emergent ray. But if the ray of light incident along this direction, then this would be our emergent ray, and the angle of deviation remains the same. Only in one case, when the angle of deviation is minimum, in that case angle of incidence is equals to angle of emergence, and the value of deviation would be minimum value. Therefore, at this point angle of incidence is equals to angle of emergence, and it is also observed that R1 is equals to R2. So we can write at the minimum deviation position, angle of incidence is equals to angle of emergence is equals to, let's say, I. This is our equation number 1. And angle of refraction R1 and angle of incidence R2 for this phase AC is equals to, let's say, R. So this is equation number 2. Now in this quadrilateral AQNR, these two angles are 90 degree because these two are normal. Therefore, these angles are 90 degree, and hence we can write angle A plus angle QNR, or simply we can write A plus QNR is equals to 180 degree. Because these two angles are, sum of these two angles are 180 degree, therefore sum of these two angles must be 180 degree, since the sum of all the four angles of the quadrilateral is 360 degree. And also in this triangle, which is QNR, we can write R1 plus R2 plus angle QNR is equals to 180 degree. Because we know sum of all angles of triangle is 180 degree. So now if we equate these two equations, since their RHS is same, we can write R1 plus R2 is equals to A. Let's take this our equation 3. Now the total deviation is the sum of the deviation at these two faces, because the refraction takes place at these two faces. Therefore, we can write the total deviation is the sum of deviation at the two faces. Therefore, the total deviation we can write delta is equals to I minus R1. I minus R1 plus E minus R2. This E minus R2, because I is greater than R1 and E is greater than R2. We know that when light ray travels from rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. Therefore, I is greater than R1. And when it travels from rarer medium to denser medium, it bends away from the normal. Therefore, E is greater than R2. And hence the deviation we can write E minus R2. If you solve this and take minus sign common, you can write I plus E minus R1 plus R2. And from this equation 3, R1 plus R2 is A, which is angle of prism. Therefore, we can write delta is equals to E plus I minus A. So, this is the angle of deviation. Now, we have to find the angle of minimum deviation. So, the angle of minimum deviation, say DM. Now at this minimum deviation we have two conditions, okay, in which I is equals to R and these two angles R1 is equals to R2. So this equation at the minimum deviation becomes delta is equals to I plus E is equals to, let's say, I. Therefore this becomes twice I minus E. From this we can calculate the value of angle of incidence. Angle of incidence is equals to A plus dm. Okay, because now we want the angle of minimum deviation, that is dm is equals to A plus dm divided by 2. And from this we can calculate the angle of refraction. As we know, at the minimum deviation dm, r1 is equals to r2 is equals to r. Therefore we can write A is equals to 2r. R plus r, 2r. Therefore A is equals to 2r and r is equals to A by 2. Now we know the refractive index of prism, which is n21 is equals to n2 divided by n1. That is the refraction of second medium with respect to first, which is equals to Snell's law. According to the Snell's law, this you can write sine of I divided by sine of R, and sine I is, the value of I is this and R is equals to A by 2. So we'll put this value, let's say this as a equation A and this is equation B. So from equation A and B we can write refractive index of prism is equals to sine of A plus dm divided by 2 whole divided by sine of R, and the value of R is A by 2. So if we know the minimum deviation angle, we can find the refractive index of prism. Now for small angle prism, means this angle is small, then this equation becomes n21 is equals to A plus dm by 2 divided by A by 2. If angle is small, then we take sin theta is equals to theta, and therefore sine of this angle is equals to A plus dm divided by 2. If you calculate this, this 2 will get cancelled, and this you can write n21 into A minus A is equals to dm, that is minimum deviation, and therefore minimum deviation dm is equals to, if you take A common, you will get n21 minus 1, where n21 is the refractive index of prism and A is angle of prism. Therefore this indicates that thin prism doesn't deviate light much. Deviation will be less in case of thin angle prism. Now thin angle prism means if the angle is less than 10 degree. Okay, otherwise if the angle of prism increases, deviation decreases. So these are the factors on which the angle of deviation depends. So if you like this topic, please don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you.